Welcome back. I just want to talk about a few things. So, thank you for any new subscribers. I am very appreciative. I'm very appreciative on you all just watching, even if you watch it for a second and just like, But thank you for, coming and being involved. I have so much like stuff that I want to talk about. I am holistic, so I focus on the mind, the body, and the spirit, and I am really into science, so I like to back it up with science, but I'm still very spiritual, so there's going to be that spiritual context in there too, but science is spiritual. And yeah, so there's going to be stuff about gut health, parasites, you know um your mind, healing, and things like that, the foods that you are eating, and all of these beautiful things. So if you like that type of content, continue to, come with me on this journey, because I'm helping myself in hopes to help anybody else out there. So thank you again for coming and subscribing and liking and all of these beautiful things. I really appreciate it, and I promise you, like, it doesn't go unnoticed. But yeah, on the topic of loneliness, so I'll give you a little background. I was in a relationship for 4 years, and after that relationship, it was very, very, very toxic. At one point, I didn't realize that it was toxic, because I thought that that form of love was what I was worthy of. I thought that because somebody was willing to stay for that long, that meant that this had to be the person. And it was like I used that person as validation of I was worthy. In high school, I had relationships every little nah, but it was more so that it was like situationships in high school. I wasn't really the girlfriend. I was like the cool, yeah, you're the girl that's cool to be around, but you're not really the girlfriend. Like, you're not really the girlfriend. So it was always that, and that just tied back into what I truly believed about my self-worth and about my value. And I really didn't believe that people could, really cherish me and honor me, but at the same time, I didn't cherish me and honor me, and I thought I was only worthy of one thing. So that really, like, dismantled my high school ways, and I wasn't worthy, and I wasn't thinking that I was worthy. So I settled for just being the, like, okay, you're cool, you're pretty, you're different, but at the same time, not girlfriend. So when I got into this relationship, and this relationship was in college, and this was with a person who was kind of like, that person never settles down, and this person is like, nobody could get him to settle down. It, of course, my ego feeded off of that, and I attached my worth and my validation to that, and I finally felt like I was worthy. So on the outside looking in, I looked like I was thriving. My body weight was up. My skin was a little clearer. It was like everything, my hair was growing. It was like, on the outside looking in, it was looking like I was the happiest, even though on the inside looking in, I was really sad and depressed, because that relationship was kind of dismantling my self-worth on a deeper level. It was really causing me to not feel worthy. And I think that we don't talk about it enough, like what the effects of cheating really does to you. And I think that that could be a whole nother video within itself. But cheating and getting cheated on really, 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 really destroys your confidence, destroys, who you think you are. And if you've constantly just been cheated on and constantly been having somebody else picked over you, it really does, like, eat away at you mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And yeah, it had me at my lowest, but it was all, now I can say, it was all making me to my highest version of myself. But I had to get to that. I had to, understand that and allow it to get me there. But before then, no. So I attached to that relationship, and I was like, I'm going to be in this relationship no matter what. And even though this person is truly disrespecting me, and the relationship is just not it's not good. It's very hurtful. This person keeps cheating on me. And at this point, it's like I'm searching for love. Okay. I'm searching for love still outwardly, and I'm still looking for the validation, but I still don't feel secure enough. And I was like, something about it, like, I'm like, why can people tell me that I'm beautiful, but I still don't believe it? And then it was just like, other men, when you're going through that, it's like the perfect time for men who like truly also don't want anything really of you to be like, this is perfect, because I see that you're vulnerable. I see that you're kind of like, weak in a sense. And so I'm going to come and like feed that life into you, but truly still not value you. I only truly want you because the attention is not going to truly be there, because like I don't have to like truly value you. I can do little small things that's gonna make you think that like that is the most beautiful thing, and you're gonna hold me to this higher state because of the simple fact that you're accepting crap. You're accepting the bare minimum from that person. So me coming and like just pouring into you, talking to you, being around you, spending time with you is gonna make it seem like I am the epitome of what it means to be an amazing guy. And so you have to like kind of like pay attention to that, because energy doesn't lie, and people can feed off this energy, and whether they're doing it intentionally or unintentionally, it is happening. So you're attracting that person for a reason. So pay attention to these things when we're going into these, relationships. And a lot of times we'll try to go to the person who, was feeding us that energy. And then it's like, you're not the same person. It's like, because now they have to devote actual like love and attention to you, and they're not willing to do that because they didn't really want to do that. And so it was like, I never was secure when other dudes outside of my relationship were like pouring into me. It was like I still felt very insecure, and it just made me feel even more insecure, because I just felt like there was nowhere to turn. I felt like nobody loved and truly valued me. And growing up in the age of social media, and I was like a Twitter heavy person. So Twitter, it was like you could see what people were liking, and so it was like I was seeing that people were liking these other people, these women who did not look like me, who yeah. So it was like I just really was just going through it in that relationship. So once that relationship ended, and it ended, it has to end. Here's the thing: when you want to heal and you truly ask God to heal, and I was like, God, I'm ready. And I did not know what I was asking for, because God is going to do that thing for you. When I tell you, when you say that's the fastest manifestation that happens. Like, ask for $1 million. Oh, that's not gonna come easy. But when you say that you're ready for God to like strip away and like to make you new and to really follow him, he finna do it like that. So within 3 months, like, that relationship was over and done with, and it left me scarred. And I remember a few months ago, I was sitting with myself, and I felt myself like I was just sitting down in my apartment, and I was just like chilling. It was kind of like nighttime, and I was chilling, and I was watching a movie. I was eating good food, and the feeling of sadness started to like creep up on me. And I was like, Shawnise, why are you sad right now? And I realized that I was like, okay, I'm sad. And I sat with myself and I go, okay, I'm sad because I'm lonely. And I was like, okay, well, what about being lonely makes you sad? And I was like, just because, there's nobody here. Like, I want to like be with like my man right now. Like, if I could be like sitting here watching a movie with my man and just having the company of that person who like truly loves me and like, just want to be around me, like feeling that energy. I was like, man, like, that's why I'm sad. And I was like, but I'm like, but why does that make you sad? Like, that you don't have a boyfriend right now. So what about that? Like, what about being lonely makes you sad? Like, what is it? And I sat with myself, and then these deeper feelings of like unworthiness started to like come over me, and I just started to cry. And I'm actually like getting emotional now, even just like thinking about it, because that feeling, it's not something that I've completely overcome, and it still gets me. And I have been out of that relationship, it feels like maybe like 3 4 maybe like 3 going on 4 years now. I really can't remember the time, but it was like at least 3 years ago. But yeah, I remember I was just like, you are sad because being alone in your head confirms the thought that you are unworthy and you are unvaluable, and that you are alone because you are not worthy of being in a relationship and nobody wants you truly. And I remember like in my like time when I was like freshly out of my relationship, I remember it was a guy and we were kind of like cool or whatever, we were working together. And I remember we were like on FaceTime and he was like, he just randomly, I kid you not, he randomly was just like, nobody ever would want to get you pregnant. Nobody's ever going to be with you. You're going to be lonely forever. You're never going to have any friends. You're never going to have a relationship. No guy wants to, be with you. And I don't know where it came from. And I was with another coworker. I was with her and she was just like, what? Hang up that phone. Like, hang the phone up. And I hung it up, but like that notion like still kind of like replays in my head. I don't even know if like he even remembers saying this or anything, but like I kid you not, like that was like the comfort. That was like my inner thoughts being spoken out loud to me, like that nobody would truly want me, nobody truly value me, because I've never seen that. And it's, when we get into this life, we go, because of the things that we are taught in our adolescence, and then we go out and we go seeking that, right? Even though we're not consciously aware that we are seeking this, we're just thinking that like this is what life is giving to us, but we're constantly going to that. So we're not going to the relationship that is like going to value us. We're going to the relationship that is going to devalue us because that's what we're used to and that's what we're seeking. And it just confirms the ego and keep the ego in this constant cycle of like, yeah, you're not valuable, yeah, you aren't loved, yeah, all of that stuff that keeps you small. And life is about like challenging that and debunking that and reprogramming and reworking your mind to say that these are literally false, these are not things, and then just to go seeking ways of like how you are valued. When were the times that you were valued? But the thing about it was, because I had never saw somebody other than this relationship stay with me for like all of those years, I was like, man, like it has to be me. I have to be the problem. I have to be the one that like, they always want somebody else. Why is it? And I'm like, why is it that they always want somebody else? Like, what about me? Like and it's like, I always get like, no, you're cool. Like you were the best. Like that. You were an amazing person. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that mess. I don't want to hear you're the amazing person. But it was also because I was amazing and I settled. I settled for people who were going to do these things, and not necessarily saying that they were a bad person, but that was just the state of which that they were in. And then they went to somebody who was also in that vibration, like that was in that alignment with them. And I didn't know this at the time, but when I started to sit back and like look on these things, I was like, everybody always went to somebody who was more aligned with them. And that was my thing. Like I would get into relationships and relationship would skyrocket me. Relationships would at the same time, because I would put more attention and focus on them. But the moment that I started to like, and especially in this relationship that I was in, I really started to like really grow. So like I really started to, do more of like, I told God, like, I just want to get closer to you. Like, I just feel so disconnected from you. And I would constantly keep saying that. And then I started noticing, like, the things about the foods that I was eating. And I started to, like, awaken consciously. And that's when I, like, stopped eating certain foods. And then it was just, like, me starting to get more into herbs and understanding the, like, natural parts of healing. And all of these things started to, like, awaken the more that I said I wanted to get closer to God. But in that process, it's like if that other person is not in alignment with that, it has to shed off. And so because I was so ready to heal, that relationship, I was ready to get out of that relationship. And I said that. I literally said, I'm like, God, I'm ready. I'm ready to truly follow you. I'm ready to, go with this, because I'm tired of the hurt that I'm feeling right now. And this relationship is not doing me any good. So I have to like walk away from it. And God had to take it away. But in taking it away, it stripped me of what I truly deeply like felt, that like I could love somebody so much and that they would go to be with somebody else. And that exactly what happened. But of course, to get over something, you have to go through it. So I needed to go through that. I needed to go through all of that in order to like truly heal that. And so as I was sitting with myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I truly do, feel like I'm unworthy of love. I'm unworthy of somebody like staying and like truly committing and being with me. Like I truly feel that I'm unworthy of that. And I had to like give myself love in that moment. And when I tell you that I like sat with myself, I closed my eyes, I put my hand over my heart, and I was just like, man, whatever you're feeling right now, release it. And that is when I want to say that each and every moment that you can, if at night when you're about to go to bed, and that's when I feel my like heaviest emotions, it's the moon is out, so that loving feminine energy with that emotions wants to come out. You get more emotional at that time. So it's like whenever the moon is out and I am in sync with it, I allow everything to come out, and I put my hand over my heart and I just tell myself like, release it. So feel it. And that has been the most healing thing for me, was crying and releasing, because throughout my childhood I was so like, crying is for the weak. Like, don't cry, you're a crybaby, you're a crybaby, you're a crybaby. And it made me feel like something was wrong with me for wanting to cry, because I was being hurt, and it was like something hurt my feelings. My natural instinct as a kid is to cry about it. And it was like, but crying made me feel better. And I remember one time in that relationship, he was like, you always crying, like you did that. And so I started like hiding when I would cry, because it reminded me of childhood, of like I felt so ashamed of crying when something would hurt me. And he was like, you don't ever want to like solve anything, you want to cry. But for me, every time that I would like cry, and then I would just like, okay, all right, now how are you finna execute this? How are you finna get this done? Like, all right, we got this. And it will always make me feel better and lighter. But I wasn't able to do that. And so now I'm able to cry. And that's one thing, cry. Like, if I can give y'all one piece of advice, if I could tell y'all like what healed me and what helped me to really, get through everything that I was dealing with, it was crying. And it's not only that, but like getting, we like to say like, show it, like if you're angry, but like I would do that as a kid, like screaming a pillow. And I would do that now. Like I would scream out to God. Like, like what? Like, why am I going through this? Like, I'm tired of this. I'm sad, God. I'm sad. And I would always like direct, and I would tell God exactly my frustration. And it was like after that, I would just like confirm that like, but God is working. God got me. And this is nothing but some character development, girl. That's all it is. So push through. And you got this. But in order to push through, I had to actually through. Like, I had to do the through part. So I have to, like, feel the emotions to through them. Like, pass them through. And that has been the thing that has been helping me a lot, is, like, when I feel these emotions of unworthiness and I just feel like, man, there's nobody out there for me. I'm like, you know what? Cry about it. Sit in the heart. What is true? What is untrue? Okay. Now give yourself some love. And then doing something that, makes me feel love. Like, if that is talking to a family member, if that is watching a movie that I've loved to watch as a kid, it's doing that. If it is sitting here and like having my favorite food, or just getting out into the sun. Like that is another healer. Like get out into that sun and do the things. And if you don't have the sun, you have to find ways to like lighten it up. So listen to like light filled music. I think sometimes that we get into moods and we like to listen to the vibration that we are in, but if you want to uplift yourself, you can't go to the vibration that is lower. Like if you're sad, don't listen to sad music. Don't listen to music that's going to confirm what you're feeling and then tell yourself like it makes me feel better. Vibrationally, it's not making you feel better because it's keeping you at that vibration. So it's just confirming that there are other people out here who are hurt, and then your ego feeds off of like, yeah, see, because so and so ain't this and so ain't that. See, that's why you don't trust. And it's like, no, listen to music that talks about love in a positive way. I started listening to I'm truly an old soul, so I listen to old school music. And so to get out of the like matrix of like lust and this generation, I don't listen to 90s music as much, but I've been like vibing to 80s music and jazz, and it just puts me in a vibration of like calmness that sometimes provides my like body with a little anxiety, because it is something that's unnatural. The feeling of like true love and like calmness and being like, hey, everything's okay. And at that moment when it's time for you to have that perfect partnership, it is going to be time for that. And so to get back into alignment, I sit with myself and I'm like, okay, but this music is happy and it makes you feel good, and vibe to this. And then like going on car rides and like seeing the freedom and seeing the abundance that like I get to go out and go on car rides and just be by myself. And I have the luxury of that. I have the luxury of being by myself right now in this season. So I'm learning myself, so that way, when I get into something, then it's gonna be that. And you're gonna, if when things come your way, because you get tested, so when things come your way, because you're sitting with yourself, you're not so quick to like attach to that and like be like, yeah, this has to be the ideal relationship. No, it's not the ideal relationship. And the moment that you see that, like, because they will come to you and they will seem like they are in alignment, like they will have like everything, but your most like one thing that you're like, this is my non-negotiable, they will have everything else in alignment with what you want in a person. And then they will have that one thing, and it's just like, that's a test. Are you willing to fold for that? You said that it's one thing. So if it's like for me, it's kind of like drinking. I am like a knower to drinkers, because it's like some like the health stuff behind that and stuff like that. So I'm like really health conscious. So it's like I don't really want to deal with that. And so it's like when I meet people who are like, yeah, I drink, it's like I love myself enough to know, even though you have all these other things, no. And then I'm not going to change you. I should love you unconditionally. And I'm already saying that there is one thing that I do not accept about you. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to me. So if you do change, then you do change. But that's not for me to try to make you change. If that's something that you enjoy doing, then I need to love you for that. And if I don't love you for that, then I don't need to be in your life. So it's things like that. And even when I do things like that, like it's like little sparks of like, see, you do love yourself. See, you're not single because there's nobody. You're single because you're waiting for the right person. There are people, and you need to put that in your head. You're single because you're waiting for the right person. You're not lonely. And I know it's like I'm by myself, but you're not. And in due time, that person will come to you and love you. So deal with your emotions and figure out you're in this season. You're in this season of preparation to get everything that you truly desire in that partner, and that person is going to be the best for you. But you have to go through the season of you gotta be baking. You're baking right now. You're every time I knew that she was about to do it. But yeah, you're baking. So be baking, all right? Not bacon like pork bacon, but like you're baking in the oven. So allow that to happen for you. Alrighty, well, that's all. Of course, I almost got through this video without the camera falling, but it happened. So alrighty, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.